So as I was saying, core states had taken over the account, and shortly thereafter they were taken over by First Union. And the dealings with First Union, we conducted the negotiations to see me clear of the debts I'd fallen into due to this abdominal lipectomy in Houston that laid me up for 10 years. And just as they were to make good on most of those negotiations, and also because the minute Laird Stabler wrote me that they were not going to act on my investment policy, the bank destroyed my balanced portfolio, 50-50 or 60-40 stocks and bonds, and put everything in high-risk, low-yield stocks. And because over those intervening years the stock market was bullish, our North American greed prevented these people from listening to my repeated, never-ending demands to go back to a balanced portfolio. So then First Union in very short order was taken over by Wachovia. Wachovia never made good on the negotiations concluded, approved, and agreed upon with core states and First Union. So to date, I have not been brought out of the debt I was launched into by the severity of the complications of my post-operation in Houston. The banks had agreed to give me $200,000 for me to bank or do what I wanted to with, to kind of make up for the lost income that was severely hampered the minute we went back to 100% stock investment. That took my income overnight, when I'm lying flat on my back, to exactly less than half, which is what caused me to start falling into debt in the first place. Abroad, one cannot finance a home and things the way you can here because the interest rates will kill you. So basically, you buy what you can afford or you don't buy it. So that has pretty much always been my policy. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Never imagining that I would one day see myself deeply in debt. Wachovia never obeyed my grandmother's will, which is the trust instrument. They said it was a discretionary account, and they pretty much did what they wanted. I suffered some serious injuries in the intervening years, so I was taken by Wachovia from being a healthy, well-respected person, a pillar of my community, to be injured to the point that I drive a disabled scooter because I have serious injuries to my feet. The lack of money for medical bills caused me to lose the bone to osteomyelitis, an infection to the bone in my right foot and very possibly in the left, but I'm not certain because they paid for one single MRI and refused to pay for any further. I was ordered by doctors to get special orthopedic shoes, which they also denied me, and this has all led to repeating and worsening injuries and deformities to my feet. So the power abuse of these banks is truly and unbelievable, that I should be in physical condition. Then they cheated me out of rental money, which led to my eviction on February 11th, 2009. Never once, finally they paid up on the back rent that they had cheated me out of, but never once was the question asked, do you have some place to go while you're evicted? Do you need some money for that? So I'm always taking from Peter to pay Paul. And these are things that are like elementary. If I moved here in 2003 with 2 suitcases and was never given any money for furniture, my belongings were lost in Mexico. I requested that something be done about it immediately. Nothing was. So the whereabouts of the contents of my home, which certainly were valuable to me and contained some antiques and Persian rugs and things, I know not to this date, since September 21st, 2004, that a bank should have the ability to render you homeless twice, and now I may be rendered homeless thrice, and cost you your assets, as opposed to protecting them, which were the very specific instructions of my grandmother, is totally unheard of. Now that Wachovia has been taken over by Wells Fargo, they went to court, got rid of my account, passed it on to Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, and U.S. Trust, which is an even less responsive trustee. And being launched into this situation in housing court because of the lack of rental money not being given me by Wachovia, and also they're not paying me back for money seized out of my account by the IRS when I have no sources of income due to my injuries and the fact that I can't work. Don't seem to faze these people in the least. So at housing court, I went downstairs and taped a call and to U.S. Trust and said, I will save $16,000 in back rental if I can pay the back rent by such and such a date. Are you going to pay it? And they assured me they would, only to be sent an email saying that they would not. And on the phone, my trust officer blithely told me, prepare for the worst, prepare to be evicted. Prepare to be evicted. Well, if I'm evicted and I have no other sources of income, I have had absolutely no money since the account was transferred from Wachovia to U.S. Trust, because it seems that also my income is being diverted, I don't know where. For the month of September, I was supposed to have $2,555. I've been given $1,512, and they're playing these games that's it. I was supposed to get another additional $151 3 Fridays ago, and still nothing. So somebody is taking my money. If I'm evicted and I have no other source of income, obviously my landlord is able to keep the belongings of my apartment, which I had trouble even amassing or collecting because none of it came from Wachovia. And so I will now, for a third time, be rendered injured, disabled, homeless thrice, and totally destitute. Now, how is this possible? These people talk to me of discharging due diligence to future generations when I'm the present living generation that's the recipient of this trust. My trust officer, Emily House, and Mike Neri say that I'm the one that owes the money, not the trust. So do as you like and prepare for the worst, prepare to be evicted. I have nowhere to go. I have no money with which to go anywhere. And it's not just me, I have some pets. And I cannot wear closed shoes due to my injuries and the deformity of my feet. So now with the cold weather, I stand to either lose my toes or my limbs, added to everything else. Are we finished? So this is the abuse of power of banks in our United States of North America that totally disregard a trust instrument and will discretion you into the ground. Number one, my grandmother said that for her instructions to be construed amply, and if that required, although she made the trust to last for 3 generations and be paid out after the 3rd generation died 21 years after, having lived through the Great Depression, unfortunately nothing ever happens the way people intended to. And once they're dead, all these things occur that have nothing to do with their specific laid down desires. So here I stand to be put out on the street at any moment. And my landlord, who is not the nicest of people, also plays a number of unusual games. You will note that the mail that comes to me has been marked by a large marker by the doorman. Why is it not put in my P.O. box? Why is the mailman giving my mail to the doorman? This has happened, and I've been in court with the